In this MaxTow Gauges installation video, we'll show you how to install a MaxTow Match Diesel 30 PSI Fuel Pressure Gauge into your 2010 to 2018 Ram 2500 and 3500 4th Gen Cummins. For the purpose of this installation, we will be using a 2017 Ram 2500 with a 6.7-liter Cummins engine to install our gauge. The gauge will be installed to a factory-fitted 4th Gen Cummins pillar pod. We will also use a big line kit, snubber valve, and expandable circuits for installation. All of these accessories can be found at maxtow.com. For safety, disconnect the negative battery terminal before starting any work on the vehicle. Place a drain pan under the truck to catch any excess fuel. Locate the fuel filter housing on the driver's side of the engine bay and use a Phillips head screwdriver to loosen the fuel bowl petcock and drain the fuel. Release the quick disconnect on the bottom of the fuel filter housing. Release the quick disconnect on the injection pump. Remove the injection pump feed line from the vehicle. Trim the big line hose to fit the length of the factory line. Install the T-fitting adapter into the center of the big line hose by lubricating and pressing firmly, or by using a hose assembly tool. Install the AN fitting. Install the plastic quick disconnect on the opposite side of the big line hose. Once the big line hose is ready, thread the pressure sensor into the snubber valve and tighten using 18mm and 22mm wrenches. Apply Teflon tape to the threads of the snubber valve. Then thread the snubber valve into the T-fitting and tighten using an 18mm wrench. Remove the injection pump feed line fitting using a 17mm wrench and then install an AN fitting using the 17mm wrench. Tighten the AN connector to the AN fitting with a 17mm wrench. Install the quick disconnect of the big line kit to the bottom of the fuel filter housing. Connect the sensor harness to the sensor and secure the wire away from moving parts. Run the sensor harness through the engine bay of the truck and through the firewall using a grommet. Remove the side trim panel of the dash and move the weather strip out of the way. Route the power wire from the gauge pod down through the dash and through the grommet into the engine bay. Route the fuel pressure sensor harness up through the dash and into the fuel pressure gauge location on the gauge pod. Reinstall the weather stripping. Reinstall the side trim panel for the dash. Plug the power harness and the sensor harness into the back of the gauge and slide the gauge into the gauge pod. Reconnect the negative terminals of the two batteries and prepare power for the gauge. Pull the power harness through the firewall to the fuse box location under the hood. Locate fuse number F84 in the fuse panel for constant 12-volt power. Locate fuse number F93 in the fuse panel for ignition-only 12-volt power. Locate fuse number F79 in the fuse panel for headlight-only 12-volt power. Using an expandable circuit, crimp it to the yellow wire. Insert the fuse into the circuit and insert the circuit into the empty fuse number F84 slot. Using a second expandable circuit, crimp it to the red wire insert the fuse into the circuit and insert the circuit into the empty fuse number F93 slot. Using a third expandable circuit, crimp it to the orange wire. Insert the fuse into the circuit and insert the circuit into the empty fuse number F79 slot. Using an eyelet connector, secure the black wire from the gauge to the grounding bolt next to the fuse box using a 10mm socket. You've now successfully installed your MaxTow Match 30 PSI Fuel Pressure Gauge into your 2010 to 2018 Ram 4th Gen Cummins diesel truck. If you have any questions, concerns, or comments, please contact us at 1-877-7-MAX-TOW, and we'll see you on the road.